about it. John Klingberg made his Edmonton Oilers debut tonight, and brother, I was pretty ecstatic with how he looked this evening. He was very calm and collected with the puck on his stick, had his head up the entire way, delivering a lot of good tape-to-tape passes and all those things that we had heard, right, from everybody who had been watching practice. My eyes were going to be on his skating ability and how can he handle the physicality when he goes back to take a puck on a dump in? Can he still make the play while getting crunched into the boards? And as I mentioned, third shift into the game, he got absolutely pile driven into the ground. A little bit of a wake-up call there. And after that, felt like he was good. I could notice some nerves early in the first period. It was probably like his first 7 shifts. He stood up twice on the offensive blue line, completely whiffed, and then had the play going the other way. But that I'm attributing to you haven't played hockey in 14 months. It was probably in his head a little. Then there you go. As the game continues to roll along, he looked more and more comfortable. I was pretty happy with it. I'm curious everybody in the chat and what they think. Just looking here, 16:39 time on ice, 20 shifts, 1 shot, no blocks, 1 giveaway. Liam, I thought he was solid tonight. And one thing I will say, I could tell a drastic difference between John Klingberg compared to Troy Stecher when they have the puck on their stick. What about you?
Yeah, I did too. And it's funny. I think a couple of Red Wings fans have snuck into the chat and saw my Detroit Lions gear. I forgot all about that, to be honest. But one pride, maybe next year. But yeah, just on Klingberg, yeah, you're right. There was a notable difference between him and Troy Stecher, and just someone who has played at an elite level in his career like Klingberg has, right? Like we said, I think he led the league by points by defenseman one year, however long ago that was. And like I said, for a guy that hasn't played in 14, 15 months, whatever it has, I thought he did a good job. There was nothing too crazy that stood out in a negative way. I thought he moved the puck really well. His skating looked pretty normal. I wouldn't say anything too crazy. Like you said, took a huge hit. You probably welcome that a little bit in your first game. You just want to get that feeling back of all right, because it's like when you go paintballing. Nobody wants to get shot when you go paintballing. But once you get shot once, you're like, okay, that really wasn't that bad at all. And I'm going to run around like a headless chicken now. And John Klingberg had a bit more control over his game than I would at paintball. But nevertheless, I thought he was pretty solid. And like you said, you read off his stats, 16:38 time on ice. Managed to sneak 7 seconds in on the penalty kill somehow, however that came about. 1 goal against, but I'm pretty sure he was on the ice for the first goal against, which again wasn't really his fault, was it, by any means? And yeah, outshot 9-8, but overall, you can't be too disappointed. Better than what Troy Stecher would have maybe done today, and that's not a discredit to Troy Stecher either.
And right, we talked about it on pre-gaming. We're not overreacting whether he had a good game, whether he had a bad game. It is 1 game. He's been out of hockey for 14 months, but it was a good sight to see. Also, he gave that interview with Gene. That's a hockey player through and through. His nose looks a little broken, missing all of his front teeth, talking about how he's no longer in pain with that toothless grin. And I'm like, buddy, these guys are just built different than all of us, the rest of us. It makes no sense. Mackay and Dry. Klingberg looks tall, toothless, poised, Stecher. Yeah, I can get down with that. He did it with all different D partners, right, throughout this game as well. And that's something he just comes out of this one, hopefully not in pain. It's kind of my goal. I think it is crazy that he got his hip surgery done at 18, 21, then decides to do double hip resurfacing surgery at this age. And now only at this age is he saying, this is the first time I'm playing without pain. I can't even wrap my head around that and whatnot. So shout out to him. He wanted to be here with the Edmonton Oilers. I still don't understand how his contract works, but I was thrilled to see him out there. He moved the puck. I saw glimpses of everything I was told I was going to see and that he kind of is about. Now, we'll see if he continue to build on it from game to game. Liam, the Oilie is Klinger's debut.
Yeah, just looking through here at some of the players he played with, this is all at 5-on-5, just shy of 10 minutes with Ekholm, 4:13 with Darnell Nurse, Kulak a minute 46, and didn't really see much time with Bouchard or Emerson. Obviously, all 3 of those guys are right shots. Do you ever look at those the hockey stat sheets. It's the one with all the lines. You ever see those things? Klingberg was last on the team on that, but it wasn't anything too drastic. And for the most part, too, it was like his team defense was like slightly below average and offense was slightly below average. Like, so what? To be honest, like, so what? It is very irrelevant, but he played well. I thought he did perfectly fine. He was okay. And that's all we needed from him, was to come out and not be an absolute liability.
Not be a liability and not get injured.
Yeah.
2 for 2, brother. 2 for 2. Pretty happy with that. Actually, I want to pose this one to you and the chat. Liam, shot out of a cannon. Give me a letter grade for John Klingberg tonight.
Yeah. You know what? All things considered, I'll give him a C plus.
I went B minus.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking B minus. I thought that might be too good for him, but I think it's B minus, C plus. What's the difference between a 60 and a 65? Am I right?
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.